Today we're going to talk about how well do you know yourself? How well do you know your game? What are your goals? And what do you need to do to achieve them? What levels of the game do you need to get through to get to where you want to be? And for everybody, this is going to be different. For me, it's going to be different to you. It's going to be different to your teammates because there's different ways of going about it. For example, think of someone like a Mark Wood for England. The way that he got to the top is different to the way that a Jimmy Anderson got to the top. This all stems from a conversation I had with one of my online clients yesterday. And he's set the goal of bowling 140 Ks. And right now, he bowls about 120 and he's 20 years old. And I asked him, do you want to bowl 140 Ks or do you want to play cricket for Australia? And he sits back and he goes, no, I just want to play for Australia if I can, but if not Victoria, if not Premier First. He just wants to play the highest level he can and get the most out of himself. And that's why I think a lot of players get into the wrong habits of getting the wrong goals because they don't understand themselves. You see, if you're 20 years old bowling 120, having the goal of getting to 140 probably isn't the way to get to where you want to be. That's because that goal is probably unrealistic and that you're going through the wrong doors and it's going to lead you down the wrong path. All that time and energy that you're going to put into that is simply, my personal opinion, probably going to be wasted because all that time and effort and what it takes to gain 20 Ks an hour, you could put that same time, energy and effort to getting up to 127, 128, 130 potentially, which is a whole lot more easier and a whole lot more realistic. Plus you could have developed some slower balls, some more skills, some cutters, understanding your game better, learn how to set up batters better, learn how to take wickets better. You see, I think it's important to know what your assets are and what you can bring to a team. Because there's no point trying to be somebody you're not, and there's no point trying to be a cricketer that you're not going to be able to actually become. It's setting unrealistic expectations. This is something that I probably got into the habit with myself as well. Comparing yourself to others, self-doubt comes on the back of that. Whereas at the end of the day, as the great Dylan Buckley says from Dylan Friends, you may as well be yourself because everybody else is taken. And that's what we're going to sort of unpack today in this video is how do you actually understand yourself? How do you actually understand your game? And that's something I personally had no idea on. And it's something I actually haven't really even done and reflected back on. But if I was to come back and play cricket, I'll be reflecting so hard on my game, my strengths, my weaknesses. Because often, we set these lofty goals for the off-season, or we set these random goals for the off-season. And I think they are random, as I said just then, because you haven't actually done the work to know what is the next step that you need to unlock to get to where you want to be. That's the key. It's a lot of people are going to work hard. I know you're going to work hard. If you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, if you weren't passionate, you weren't dedicated, but what are you going to work on is the key. This is where the old train smart, not hard comes into play. Because anybody can train hard. Anybody can make you go to 300 burpees, run up a hill, come back, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. That is fucking so hard. So hard. But if you were, looking to improve your for defense, that probably wouldn't be much helpful. If you're looking to improve your speed and power as a fast bowler or a batter trying to hit bigger bombs, then that's not going to be the right method to go about it. Although that was hard, It wasn't effective. It wasn't smart. And that's what I'm about. I'm lazy. I'm like, how can I do the least amount of work to get the maximum results? Think about it. It's like, all right, if I could, let's say I'm a 70 rated cricketer, how can I get to a 75 in one session? Not slog away working hard for the pre-season and get there by the end. This just comes down to efficiency in training. It comes down to training within purpose and intent. And that is what we're going to unpack today on how you're actually going to do that. Because I break the game of cricket down into three parts. The physical side, which is obviously the S&C side. The mental, emotional side. As I say, cricket is played above the shoulders. And the skill/craft side. And you can split that into batting, bowling, and fielding. Let's start with the skill side. Actually, no, let's start with something a bit more general. These are some questions. So get your pen and paper. Get out pen and paper, notes on your phone, whatever it is. Let's break this down. Let's ask yourself these questions here. Dot point them down, whatever it is. I'm massive on it at the start, just mind dumping. Get a big piece of paper out, get a book out, and just scribble some shit down. And then from there, you can then systemize it a little bit and then make it a bit more clearer. But just get everything out of that noggin of yours. All right, first question is, what's your instinctive style of play under pressure? Next question. What part of your game comes naturally to you without thinking? What part of your game do you overthink or you're really unsure about? What does a great game look like for you, statistically and emotionally? I'll let that sit with you for a little bit. Pause, rewind, go back if you need, but make sure we're writing this down. Batting specific questions here. Let's move into the batting side. One thing to notice as well, one thing to say is that if you're on YouTube watching this, set yourself up a Chrome extension where you can get the transcript for this, and that's how you get the questions. Okay. Batter specific questions. Are you aggressive, conservative, or adaptable? How do you go in different phases? New ball, middle overs, death. What's your go-to? Scoring area. How do you go spin versus pace? Which one do you get stuck against? Looking back at your past season or your last 10 innings, is there a pattern of dismissal? A certain way you go out? Do you tend to lose focus or do you overthink once you're in? What's your mindset when you're in your first 10 balls? There's countless questions you can ask. Let's do a mini audit. Let's have a look at this. What is your best innings look like recently? And ask yourself, why did it click? And then let's look at your worst innings and let's look at why it broke down. Bowlers, time for you. Are you someone who's more fluid, rhythm, tendony based, elastic bowler? Or are you someone who's more muscular driven, heavier on the ground, effort based, that grunt bowler? What's your main weapon? Is it accuracy, swing, pace, bounce, deception? Just your overall nous? What are you best at? Attacking or containing? Bowling attacking or defensively? Wickets versus dot balls, building pressure. Do you maintain your pace and accuracy across a spell? Which one of those tends to fall away? What's your mindset under pressure when a batter's coming at you? What are you thinking? What's your default emotional state? And what's your response when you get hit for a boundary? Massive one. How do you bounce back from adversity? So, a mini audit for the bowlers in the room. In a game, what phase do you feel like you bowl your best in? Is it new ball, middle ball, death, red ball, white ball? You tell me. Write it down. Actually, don't tell me. Tell yourself. What's your favourite field setup and why? What's your favourite way to set up a batsman? Let's move on to fielding, the one that nobody ever audits for themselves. And it's one of those things as human beings that we probably don't audit things that we're not very good at. Now, do you enjoy fielding or do you just get through it? And if you just get through it, it probably means that you're probably not good at it. And you probably need to train it more, make it fun. Luckily, I actually did a podcast with Jack from Athletic Fielding on probably the last podcast that came out. So make sure you give that a listen and also go to his page, look at ways how to make fielding more enjoyable. What is your best fielding position and why? How is your anticipation? How well do you read cues from the batter? How well do you read the ball off the bat? Do you feel reactive and in control in the field? How consistent is your throwing, like both from a power and accuracy point of view? And then we'll go into that mini audit part. What's your best fielding moment from last season? Is there one that stood out? And then what was your biggest miss or error? And then think back, like, why did those happen? Were you not switched on? Were you not going through a pre-ball routine? Things like that. Now, once again, do you know what? What I'll do is I'm going to leave a link down below in the bio for you to... I'll leave a link down below in the bio and I'm going to send you these questions that I'm reading out right now. So click that down below and I'll send it to your email. Because there is a fair bit here, not going to lie. All right, section 2. Let's look at your physical profile. Let's talk about your movement, like your fitness, athleticism, that type. So first of all, let's break down. What's your body type? Are you lean, muscular, overweight, carrying some body fat? Let's address that. Let's look at that. Are you fast over 10, 20 meters? Are you slow? Do you fatigue quickly? So are you fit? How do you feel after a long spell or after a long innings? Are you able to recover quickly between training days? Know your body. Know what you need to work on. Strength and power. Are you someone who's powerful? Can you jump high, throw hard, explosive athlete? Is that you, or are you more of like a slower twitch athlete? Are you able to be strong enough to absorb the forces of bowling, sprinting, batting? Are you strong enough? Can you clear the fence? Is that you, or you need to build up your strength? Do you break down physically? Are you always injured? Is it always niggles? Do you feel heavy and slow when you're playing? Here's some things that you can track to find out how you compare. You can test like your broad jump or vertical jump for some power, 2K time trial for your fitness, your strength. You can tell from your gym lifts, so your squats, deadlifts, chin-ups, bench press, rows. Your body weight, you can get your BMI, you can look at your sleep quality for your recovery, things like this. And then ask yourself, what's your biggest physical limitation right now? What's the one thing that you could change this off-season to unlock your performance? And then what's your advantage from a physical profile point of view? Because it's not just important to look after your weaknesses and address them. It's also really important to focus on your strengths and sharpen that sword as well. Things to consider. All right. Section 3. Mental and emotional profile. Now, I know I've played with a lot of cricketers. I know you've played with a lot of cricketers that from a skill point of view, guns. But get out onto the ground, they crumble. This probably could be you as well. This was me a bit as well. Go into the game, bowl rapid the nets, be hitting blokes everywhere. Look at that. Cocks his eye on his back. And then go there and start floating up some powder puffs because that fear of failure So it's important to know yourself. Awareness and personality. Are you naturally like intense person? Are you calm? Are you emotional? You're more of like a strategic, a logical person? Are you proactive or reactive? Do you gain confidence from preparation, or do you get your confidence from performance? This is a massive one. It's a massive one. Do you play better with freedom or structure? Are you an outcome or focused driven person? Big questions, this one. I recommend you writing these down the most and expanding and going into this in detail. How about under pressure? What happens in your thoughts when you're making a mistake? Because you're going to make mistakes. Because you're a human being, I'm a human being, and guess what? That's what we do. How do you respond? Are you going to dwell on your errors, or do you move on pretty quickly? Do you play with fear or intent when the stakes are high? Do you fear judgment when you fail from other people? How about your self-talk? What's your inner voice look like during the game? What is that little birdie on your shoulder telling you? Do you need external praise to feel confident? Do you need someone to pat you on the back and say, yeah, mate, you're good? Or do you get your confidence from somewhere else? Can you coach yourself through adversity? So if something goes wrong, are you able to get yourself out of that yourself? Have you developed that skill set yet? When I was younger, no chance. Right now, 100%. I literally did it this morning when I woke up a little bit anxious and a little bit anxious for some reason, but coach myself out of it. I'm back. Mini audit. Let's have a look at this. All right. So what's your go-to response after a bad performance? Look back. How do you respond? Are you a sook? Do you respond pretty well? Back to the process. What happens? What's your mental routines or strategies that actually work for you? What happens? What are the things that actually work for you? Super important. All right. Now let's go through a final exercise. Let's build your player profile. Let's go through your natural style. Are you aggressive, calm, instinctive, etc.? What's your natural style? Right, I want you to write down a batting strength of yours and a weakness of yours, or an area of improvement. Same thing for bowling. Same thing for fielding. Next, we're going to go to a physical strength and a physical limitation of yours. Then a mental superpower and a mental challenge that you face on a weekly basis when you play. And then to finish off, I want you to go, if I worked on one thing this off season, what should it be? What's the one thing to focus on that's going to completely get you to skyrocket, to be that player that has that breakout season, and to be the one that people, that bloke when you come back to pre-season, you go, shit, Coxie's on a heater right now. Oh, geez, Coxie's looking unbelievable. What's the one thing? I wish people said that about me, to be honest. I'm not sure someone said that. No. Nah, probably not. Probably not. I doubt it. It's probably, geez, why has Coxie come back? No good. Nah, I'm just joking. All right, so great exercise this. I hope you're taking something out of this, because the better you understand yourself, the faster you're going to improve. And that's the thing that 99% of cricketers miss. So just by listening to this video, listening to this podcast or watching this video right now on YouTube, you are ahead of heaps of cricketers, billions of cricketers all across the world just by doing this. Now, it's one thing to know yourself, and if you're looking for someone to help you through this and for guidance, and you'll want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, both in person and online, then I have links down below with all the details, because you deserve to have a breakout season, and there's no faster way to get better. So the way to get to your goals faster is through having a coach who is passionate about getting you better. And that is what I will be for you, but there's like zero pressure from me at all. I understand. I get it. So there's the offer. Have a great day, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a review, ask me questions down in the comments, and I'll see you guys for the next episode.